are
Regnum Christi.
We are Regnum Christi.
I am Father Jason Smith. I am a Legionary of Christ, and I am Regnum Christi.
I am Regnum Christi.
I am Regnum Christi.
What makes Regnum Christi special, I think, is that it is evangelical, which is almost unique within a Catholic context.
The charism of Regnum Christi is the same charism of the Legion, which is evangelization.
Yeah, the Regnum Christi is a spiritual family, right? So if you look at it as a whole piece, the legionary priests are the spiritual fathers.
My favorite thing about being part of Regnum Christi is, aside from it being part of our own little family here, we are part of a huge family, and that is, I'm all about that.
As well, there's the consecrated members of Regnum Christi, men and women who have felt the call to follow Jesus within the charism and the spirituality of the Regnum Christi.
The consecrated, they're such good role models for everyone, and they really teach you how to live your faith in a world that's kind of hard to do that.
Then you would have the Regnum Christi members, right? And they wouldn't be lesser members of Regnum Christi than a consecrated woman or man or a legionary priest. They would be just like a son or daughter wouldn't be a lesser member of a family. We each have different roles within society and within the family.
Yeah, it's intertwined with our life. It's not something that's an addition to our life. We discern together, we join together, we make a commitment together, and therefore it's integral in everything we do.
And here was something in the Regnum Christi lay apostolate movement that would give me everything I needed to go out and do what I am expected to do as a Christian, as a Catholic, first and foremost as a child of God.
I think the charism of Regnum Christi is best seen when you look at Christ forming his apostles. And that is what we do as a movement.
The charism of Regnum Christi, I think, really has three critical components. Okay, the first is personal formation.
I absolutely believe that Regnum Christi is a means to perseverance in my spiritual life. And there are skills that are learned over time that I incorporate into my daily life. I'll give you an example. I commute into New York every single day. First thing I do when I get on the train is I open up my iPhone and I've got my rosary app.
It's very important as a Catholic to be more than just someone who goes to Mass and listens to a sermon, but it's living every day our faith and learning more about our faith. So personal formation through coaching and through, our encounter groups as an example.
I think with the support of the Legionaries of Christ and the consecrated, and the level of prayer that we have in Regnum Christi, I think that prepares us to witness for Christ.
I think that a key element and that perseverance is the spiritual direction that we can give and receive in the movement. Because the spiritual life is a battle, and you need regular spiritual direction, a regular guide who can help you.
I would just say that you have to make time to just get to church, because once you haven't been to a daily Mass in a while, and then you go back in there, it's nice because you're just at peace and you can just kind of let it all go. So
It is a beautiful calling. It makes your life so much more peaceful to be a part of Regnum Christi. There's so much out there that can distract us, that can have us so consumed with what we don't really need to be a part of. There's so much peace in having God in your life, and just having Him more in your life on a daily basis brings you so much peace.
So I think that first and foremost is the heart and soul of the Regnum Christi movement. Helping each other to pray, helping each other to really seek the Lord, right? Helping each other in our apostolates, in helping each other in family.
Two very important visitors or special visitors came to the hospital because they had heard that Mary was born. And it was at the time it was Brother Michael Moriarty and Father John Connor came and held Mary when she was just hours old.
It created such like a community. As a little kid, you're always searching, and it's all about who are my friends and what fads am I going to follow, and what club or sports team am I going to do, and challenge was just always there for me. And
he said to us one night when he was ready for the reflection from Father Edward, he said, there's just no place else I can go where I can actually really talk about my faith and learn more about my faith. And as all of us know, we're works in progress. So as much as we try our best and do our best, we have so much to learn. And what better way to learn than you're shoulder to shoulder with your spouse, you're shoulder to shoulder with good friends, building up trust. But you also then start to feel in the circle that you become shoulder to shoulder with Christ.
At our Legionary Seminary in Cheshire, Connecticut, we have a variety of apostolates that are really helping our community there. We have a conquest club that meets regularly at the seminary. Some of the brothers go out and teach CCD.
Work with C4, which is Catholic Couples Cocktails from Christ, which is like our favorite thing in the whole world to do, is drawing other couples into this friendship circle led by a Legionary of Christ, which is Father Edward, and inviting them to enjoy how to strengthen their marriage along with other Catholic couples.
Three to Get Married is a weekend that we offer 5 times a year. So the weekend is really preparing couples for their journey through their marriage and with God at the center.
Probably the apostolate that Evelyn and I are most closely associated with in the movement is the Holy Week mission, which is a blessing to have gotten involved in this. What has happened down there, I think of how I got dragged into it reluctantly, almost kicking and screaming, frankly, as a kind of act of sheer madness of standing on a street corner in New York trying to find Catholics. I mean, it just doesn't make any sense.
One of the apostolates of the movement is the Lumen Institute, and the Lumen Institute has as its 3 pillars character, faith, and leadership. And Lumen is designed to bring not only those attributes but core values of Lumen into the workplace.
I cannot tell you the blessings and graces the apostolate of fundraising, a true apostolate, has been for myself, my husband, I think my family.
That's a big deal, and that's what Regnum Christi has done for us. It's really formed us in a way that we then are able to gift it out to others.
And so Regnum Christi members, as members of the spiritual family of Regnum Christi, of which the consecrated men and women and the legionaries are part, plays an important pivotal role, because the Regnum Christi member is somebody who is bringing Jesus into the workplace, bringing Jesus into culture, bringing Jesus into society itself.
In our particular case, I think Valerie was a little ahead of me, as the ladies often are.
My wife was much more accepting and moved in a much more stealth way, if you will, to becoming a member of Regnum Christi.
I would love for people to then be able to connect the dots and say, oh, that's right, Catherine went on a mission to Haiti, or I saw them during Holy Week down in Soho, or BJ's doing that thing for Lumen in New York this week. And maybe then they start connecting the dots and say, wait a second, there's sort of a common theme there, that they're doing these things because they're Christ-centered activities. And if they can then approach us and say, what is it that kind of deepens your faith? And then we're able to then say Regnum Christi has had a very central part in our lives.
I would say, listen to what God is trying to tell you. Take your time,
One of the questions I get a lot from the beautiful people I encounter in my work and in my committee work outside the church, even in the community, but certainly within the church, is how do you do it all? And I don't mean this to be boastful, but I have an answer, and that answer is Regnum Christi.
The one thing I would emphasize is that this is not a movement that calls holy people. It's a movement that is calling leaders.
It's worth it. It's not like this giant thing where you have to like incorporate into Regnum Christi. It's opening one's heart to Jesus and following him in a family with people who are going to love you, walk with you, and have the gift of spiritual fathers and the legionary priests. And it's not any more complicated than that.